You make me feel awkward.
Hi guys, and welcome to my Chanel.
Hello guys, welcome back to
Hello guys.
Hi up. Welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, this is Callum.
Hello.
I'm Sian, and we vlog everything Disney parks, Disney travel, adventure, don't we?
Did you call it my channel or our channel?
I said, oh, didn't I?
Put it in the comments, guys.
Our channel. So if you're new here, make sure you click subscribe so you don't miss out on all of the, hopefully, vlogs that will be coming at some point in the future. At the minute it's just lockdown weekly vlogs, but there will be more exciting things to come.
And if you're incredibly bored, we've got lots of previous trips.
Yeah.
Vlogged,
I'll
which...
put them here somewhere.
There, you can go there. We've been rewatching them because we miss Disney.
We're supposed to be there as we speak, so boo-hoo. So yeah, first off, this isn't an ins and outs of Disney Vacation Club. I will do another link here for in the corner somewhere for our kind of like what is DVC and how much did it cost and what's involved and everything. But we thought we'd do a bit of an update because I keep promising everybody a bit of an update on Instagram, and we're 2 years in now, so we wanted to kind of let everybody know how we're getting on and yeah, just how we found it.
Obviously since the first vlog, we've had our first DVC trips. We've had a couple now, and there is nothing quite like hearing that first welcome home. That is worth every single penny.
And your magic band going purple on the thing.
Have you heard what happens now?
Yeah, it goes welcome home.
That's weird, isn't it?
We didn't get that.
So yes, that is pretty special.
That's like, it's not a reason to buy.
It's a reason to buy.
It's just nice, isn't it?
It is nice.
It's like a special treatment.
Feels good, doesn't it?
Yeah. So in the first vlog we would have talked about use years, and each DVC contract has like a use year. I don't know why it's called a use year because it's really confusing, isn't it? It's basically the month that your points renew each year. So at the minute we're in our use year of October 2020. So our contract is an October renewal. We were just so lucky timing wise in terms of the pandemic. So in terms of do we regret buying? No. And I think even if we had been caught out by it, there's nothing anybody can do. So we would never regret buying unless air travel just never resumes, and then we might regret buying.
Oh God.
Can you imagine? Anyway, so yeah, our use year is October, so we went in February 2020, and then the parks closed down in like March, April, was it? But we'd used that year's points already, so up until then, October of last year, we didn't have any more points to use anyway, because we'd used all of that year's. And then our points renewed in October 2020. Obviously we were supposed to go October, that didn't happen. We were supposed to go January, that didn't happen. We were supposed to go February, that is not happening. Our next planned trip is May, but even if that doesn't happen, you can bank your points for kind of like a year in advance. So we could either bank our points into next year and just have double the amount that renews in October of this year, or we can rent them out to people who can use their points in the US, which I think is probably what we will do in order to pay for a cruise that hopefully we're going on in October. I think that makes sense. But yeah, we've just been really lucky with timing in that we haven't lost any points. If we have to bank our points from this year, we'll lose like 6 points or something, is it 6 or 7 points? So we are very lucky timing wise with the whole COVID thing. And I know that that's not been the case for a lot of people, especially from overseas, because you just can't get there, and a lot of people have given Disney stick for it, but they can't do anything, can they? It's not their fault.
Difficult situation.
Yeah. In terms of the trips that we have been on, we stayed at Boardwalk, just Boardwalk, wasn't it, for the first one? Yeah. And Vero Beach. And then our February trip, because we had kind of banked points from our initial sign up, we stayed in a 2-bedroom villa in Copper Creek. Now that is something that we would never normally be able to do. Like it already showed us that you can have trips that would have been kind of way out of our range had we not joined.
It was incredible. Like the standard of that hotel is ridiculous. The space, it was a beauty, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think like obviously as a treat we could have done just a studio there, like paying cash, but we actually went on and priced up the stay that we did in a 2-bedroom villa. It was like 5 nights, I think, wasn't it? 5 nights in a 2-bedroom villa. If we'd have been paying cash for it, it would have cost $18,000.
Yeah.
Like, we would never ever be able to do that or ever do that. So it kind of showed us already that we'd done something really special, because it's going to allow us to kind of have celebrations and things and in like luxury that we wouldn't normally have.
Even a lot of the deluxe rooms will cost around, they're normally priced around $500 a night just for a studio. So just work that out. If you did a 10-night stay, that's $5,000 straight away gone.
Yeah.
And you can get multiples of those trips in a year. And yeah, I mean, Sian's already gone through the maths of it previously, haven't you?
Yeah, but I mean, if anyone, I talked on Instagram a little bit about finding that break-even point, and I think if anybody does want to talk to somebody about the maths and how to work that out and whether it's kind of worthwhile for you and how you vacation, then message Callum on Instagram.
This guy.
And he will help you. I hope that's okay.
Yeah, that's right. So one of the biggest benefits we found is that it changes the way that you vacation to Florida and Disney World. So it doesn't just become all about Walt Disney World. You've got so much other stuff that you can do. So there's Vero Beach, there's Hilton Head, which is South Carolina. There's just so much other options that you can do. If you can get availability over at Disneyland California, there's a DVC resort there. Even further that direction, there's Aulani, which is Disney's resort in Hawaii. There's just,
and of course you can stay at all these places anyway. Like, you don't have to be Disney Vacation Club. It just makes it a lot more accessible and obviously better, a much better value for money.
The price difference is
value.
Mad.
Yeah.
So yes, that's what it really opened up for us, is that there's just so much more to do. It's just a different type of vacation. It's a vacation rather than a holiday, isn't it? You can enjoy the pool time a little bit more, or enjoy the resorts a little bit more, because they are...
You know, it's not just a one-off trip. Like, it just makes it different, doesn't it? Because yeah, you know that, obviously, like I said that in the other video, is that you have to buy knowing that you're going to be going back regularly. There's no point if you're not going to. So knowing that, you don't have to rush everything and you just think, oh, we'll do that next time. Which has been hard for you, I think, because Callum was like, let's do everything. let's pack full the itinerary.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely made us slow down and just have much more enjoyable, slower paced holidays than what we would have done if it was just a one-off, like not knowing whether we'd be going again. So yeah.
I get why locals will buy into the EVC as well, because you've got all these different things that you can go and do with your points. It's not just about Disney World.
I know a lot of people always go, oh, if you move to Florida, you'd have to get rid of your EVC. It's like,
yeah,
no, because
just enjoy it differently.
It's like a world away from the rest of the world, isn't it? So
yeah.
So a lot of the questions that people ask are about kind of the booking system and how easy it is to use and how easy it is to navigate. It's really, really easy. It is as stressful as fast passes and things though, because
everything else Disney.
Yeah, Disney love a window, don't they? They're like, this is your window. So like you can book at your home resort from 11 months, and then from 7 months you can swap to any of the other Disney Vacation Club resorts. And when I say 11 months, it's like, so if you're going on the 1st of December, you can book from the 1st of January. So it's like not calendar, it's your actual date, isn't it? Rather than a calendar month, if that makes sense, because that could get even more confusing, can you imagine? So yeah, so the first day we had our welcome home stay, because we were traveling within 6 months. We spoke to Disney and they booked us a stay, so we didn't have to use it for that. But then for all of the others, we've had to navigate the system. And obviously for February, It was at that point, like the full availability, there was no limited numbers, there wasn't people not travelling, so it was like a free for all as it would be normally. Oh, but we weren't going for a studio, so we were okay. I'll pass over to Callum.
So one of the learns is that studio availability, so for 4 or 5 people, can be quite challenging at points. So where we are at Copper Creek, there's not loads of studios. There's quite a lot of 1-bedrooms and there's quite a lot of 2-bedrooms. Oh, hello, you can see me. So studios, there's not that many studios available at Copper Creek, but versus a Old Key West or a Saratoga, there's absolutely plenty. So trying to get availability at the 11-month mark for Copper Creek particularly can be quite challenging.
Having said that though, we've been okay.
We have always managed to get it, but it's very, very stressful because I think there's about 25 to 30. It's not many at all.
And you can only book for 7 days at a time as well. So say you're coming from the UK for a 14-day trip, you have to book in 2 separate windows to get your full trip, or you can like walk it through.
Yeah, you just add on days as the days pass, so it's a bit fun.
But we've never not got a studio,
but
people do not get it.
Yeah.
So that is something to be wary of. Like you could buy somewhere that has got lots of studios if you know that you only ever want to stay in studios, or you could see whether your budget would stretch further to have that kind of wiggle room if you needed to step up to a 1-bedroom villa instead of a studio. But I think it's hard because the points value is so much more, but you can't actually sleep any more people in a 1-bedroom than a studio, can you? So it's all of these ins and outs that has taken some learning. Obviously if we had the points available, we'd go for a villa over a studio, but for us we bought on the idea that we'd always aim for the studios.
This is where you can, what's quite nice is that there's always a few places that you can kind of fall back on in terms of resorts. So if you think that you are going to be able to get in Animal Kingdom Lodge value rooms at the 7-month mark, it just isn't going to happen. It's great that they cost 8 points a night rather than at some places you might be paying 20 points a night. Playing for them. But you're just not going to get them unless you own Animal Kingdom Lodge, and then even it's...
Which FYI, if we buy any more points, that's where it will be.
But even then, it's going to be...
Animal Kingdom Lodge. We love a lodge.
Love a lodge. Yeah, we're all about the lodge, aren't we? But even then, it's going to be quite difficult because again, there's not that many of the rooms available.
But you've got more chance if you own there.
Yes.
Which is what I was saying before. Like, if you are so passionate about a certain place, you need to buy there because that's your only, like, not even guarantee, but the best chance you have at staying there is to have points at that resort, which is why people have kind of points at various different resorts. So yeah, but I think as long as you're happy, or if you're really like chilled out and like, yeah, Old Key West is fine, Saratoga's fine, which we're at, aren't we?
Yeah.
We've just been lucky enough to manage to get other places, then you're fine wherever. The chances of there being something available there for a lower point value is high.
Yeah, so that's the biggest piece of advice we give to people, other than can you afford it. It's are you happy to stay at your home resort or Old Key West or Saratoga? If you're happy to stay at any of those, you'll have 50 years of happiness. If you really don't like Saratoga or Old Key West or your home resort, it might be a bit more stressful. You're not going to get Grand Floridian on New Year's Eve, for example.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen unless you own there, and even then it might not happen. So just have a really good think about that sort of thing.
And I think as well, if you're flexible with when you can travel, like at the off-peak time. So if you don't want to go for Christmas and New Year or Easter week and things like that, then I think if you can, like we go in February, and even then actually we travel over President's Day and a Run Disney weekend, and we've still not had. I mean, I think we had to wait list. I can't remember.
Probably, yeah.
And that's another thing as well, like there is a wait list, so if you go on and there isn't availability, you can click to add yourself to a wait list, and then they'll automatically book you onto that reservation if it does become available, so if someone cancels. So you've always got that option as well. So some people have like a wait list and then they're booked in somewhere else, and then once their wait list comes through, then they're sorted. Another thing that a couple of people mentioned as well is having multiple home resorts. Yes, that's something that you can do, but my main advice would be, and I know that if we do buy additional points, is to try and get them to have the same use year, so that your points renew at the same month. It's not essential, it will work anyway, but say like you've used all of one lot of points and then you want to stay and you've only got half of your points left, even though your other ones will renew, you'd have to bank them to then get them all into the same pot. So if you can have them just starting and finishing at the same time in the same pot, then that is your best option. Again, like it's not, you don't have to do that. And if your brain can figure it all out, then go for it and have different uses. But
so something that is very, very real, and we've alluded to, is add-on-itis. It's something that every single DVC member has. They think they buy X amount of points and they think they've got plenty to go at, but then you visit another another resort.
We can't talk today.
I know, visit another resort and Riviera, and you go, I want points, because it's so beautiful and it's just really, really nice to see. So no matter how many points you have, you will always want more. Obviously, it costs a lot of money to get those points, but some of the biggest advice that people give, and I'm hoping that we will be able to work around, is buy enough points to get you 1-bedroom stays rather than studio stays. Just because when you stayed in a 1-bedroom or a 2-bedroom or something, it'll start spoiling you. So for as long as you can, stay in a studio. As soon as you creep up to a 1-bedroom, you'll never go back, and those rooms will cost you at least twice as much per night in terms of points. So either get by more points or stay in the studio forever.
Just quickly, so I mentioned the 11-month and 7-month mark thing as well, and I also mentioned that you can bank. So you can bank into the next year, but then those points are only valid for that year. Or you can borrow from the year ahead of you into your current year, but if they're then not used, they can't go back. So there are kind of like ways of shuffling your points about. If you did like for some reason want a fancy stay in a 2-bedroom villa, you can like bank and borrow. But once those points are in once they're banked or borrowed in, they can't then go back. So you need to make sure that they will be getting used within that year, otherwise you'll lose them or have to rent them. I don't ever want to borrow.
No, I don't.
I don't want to then struggle the year after.
But 600 points, that's half a night in the cabin. So we've had a couple of questions about not how do you afford it, but yeah, I guess how do you afford it via Instagram. So obviously there is a massive upfront cost, which Sharmila has spoken about before, and it's about, I mean, some of the best ways to afford it are either save like a MF or being able to get a loan somehow. So whether that's a bank loan or whether that's a family member or something like that. With regards to a bank loan, obviously if you go to a bank and say, I'm using this for timeshare, you're not going to get the loan. But if you can use it for home improvements. Or travel.
And home improvements. I think we said home improvements and travel.
Yeah.
When we
initially
asked the question.
That's it. So yeah, so it is a big chunk of an upfront cost, and yeah, but if you have to try and discard that cost, it's just a payment.
But that's part of that, like
break-even.
The break-even point, which we spoke about earlier, is that as long as you take that into account and
annual dues. So annual dues, they are annual, and you have to pay them every year, and they are due.
So it's like a
annually.
maintenance. It's a maintenance fee basically. So because you technically own a proportion of a resort, each resort has a price per point for their annual dues. So you're kind of helping with the upkeep of the resort, basically, aren't you?
Everything.
So if you buy a new resort, the annual dues are actually lower because they're not anticipating as much upkeep as they would on an older resort.
Yeah.
And they're due every February, aren't they? I think.
That's right.
I think it's probably today, isn't it? February 15th, isn't it when they're due? February 15th. So yeah, so it is something to take into account. But we just literally split our amount by 12 and each month put that money to the side. So first it's like £120 a month, which is we overshoot what we need to save. So then we have like a nice little bonus tub of money at the end. So yeah, if you can, then just save it monthly. And how do we pay it?
So we pay it in advance via a Halifax Clarity card. So it's a 0% foreign transaction card, and you normally get the best rate possible as well. So what we have tended to do is we've prepaid money. So as we've seen the dollar get weaker and the pound get stronger, we've paid off chunks of the annual dues for whatever we've had saved up and paid it, and it ends up...
It just puts like a credit on there, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's it. So it's a really easy process. So again, if anyone needs any advice on that, just give us a shout.
I know a lot of people use like the Starling and what's that other
Revolut.
Revolut and things to pay it. But yeah, we just use a credit card that's got no international fees and then just pay the credit card off. I'd forgotten that we'd done that actually. So as soon as you spot, like, I think Brexit, was it Brexit?
Yeah, we had, so yeah, the Brexit deal which came through was favourable to us, and then I think it was before, we did it before something as well, the election. We did it before the British election. Was that last year?
Yeah. And you do kind of have to guess how much it's going to be, because it does vary year on year. So we guessed, and I think we overpaid, didn't we? So now we've just got like a bit of credit sitting on our account, which is fine, and that will just go towards next year's payment. So yeah, we, like, in terms of affording it, so we pay monthly. We pay Callum's mum and dad monthly because they're the ones who lend us the money. So we pay them and our dues, and we just see it as that's what we would have been put into, what is less than what we would have been put into one side anyway for our holidays. So because it's just the same as if you were paying for a holiday. Obviously if you're lucky enough to be able to buy it outright, then great. And obviously once we've paid for it, it will feel like pre-holidays, even though we have paid. But yeah, just do your maths. If you need any help with the maths, then Callum's your guy. This guy. One
last bit about annual dues, I'm so sorry, is annual dues will increase every single year. So they tend to go up by about 7%. So just kind of plan that into...
Ours weren't too bad actually this year.
No, but on average it's about 7%. So just kind of factor in that that's probably going to happen. Just because your resort doesn't need upkeep now doesn't mean in 5 years' time it won't, and you might get bashed. So if you can plan in that that's what it's going to be. So work out that in 50 years' time it could be a different number. Just think about that. Also, when you're looking at buying points, some places will be cheaper price per point.
Mummy?
Yes?
Lila said I'm a baby.
You're not a baby, are you? You're a big girl.
You're 2 years old, Daisy.
I am not.
Oh.
Right, off you go then. Go back and play with Lila. We're nearly finished.
So yeah, so some price per point will be cheaper. So for example, Vero Beach is really cheap to buy, but the annual dues are so massive because they live
because
right
they get the hurricanes.
Yeah, exactly. So there's every single year there's loads of upkeep. So the cheapest place to buy and the most affordable place to buy is Saratoga, because it's the biggest.
It's just been refurb.
Yeah.
I'll remind you that you'd be paying for the refurb.
Yeah, I know, but it's because it's so massive. The cost of the refurb is so little. So, and the dues are cheap and the price per point is cheap, but Saratoga. Saratoga. Now the boring financial stuff's gone.
Now for the fun stuff. So the best bits, I think, that we've experienced are the benefits that you get from it. Now, again, DVC will always go, these aren't permanent, they could be taken away at any moment. But for us, like, it's been invaluable, hasn't it? So from the UK, being able to get a gold annual pass, which you can only usually get as a Florida resident, just made it so much more affordable, because yes, like, you're going regularly because you've got DVC, but you also need to pay for your tickets, and like a 14-day ticket is not much less than an annual pass if you can get the gold level Florida resident one. So having that option was kind of like a game changer for us, wasn't it? Even though we've not been able to use it. And we've just got an annual pass sitting there that's not being used at the moment.
Is annual pass worth it? That'll be our next video.
Yeah, if you can go, yes. But we are being strong. We are holding on to our annual passes because there's a chance that you're only able to keep them if you renew rather than buy a new one, so we don't want to give it up because we don't then want to not have that option. We've actually already renewed for next year, haven't we, so that we could book our days for October, but yeah, that's a whole other video. Annual passes is a whole other video. Another thing is discounts, so both the DVC discount and the annual pass discount have allowed us to save so much money on merch and food and, I was gonna say drinks, but drinks is Table in Wonderland, which you have to have if you're DVC or annual pass. So like all together, all of the kind of like the discounts that are available have been amazing, and Callum is like a money saving expert, so you love a discount. The lounges, so you've got the Top of the World lounge at Bay Lake Tower, which has just been, we just love it there, and it's really nice as well because we've been able to take people up there, so it's kind of like people that wouldn't normally get the chance to experience that. We've been able to kind of then share it with other people because you can take guests, and just the view from up there is incredible, isn't it? And great cocktails.
Watching the fireworks from up there is something special. The music's piped in, you can see the Contemporaries just on your left, so you've got the monorail going by. Yeah. Everything's lit up. It's special, isn't it? Yeah. Really special.
And actually, is it October? We've got a night booked at Bay Lake, or is it now?
I don't know.
Or is it May? No, it's May. We have got a night booked at Bay Lake Tower. Again, something that we would never normally have done, so we can't wait for that. There's the lounge at Epcot, which we've been able to make use of. That's so nice. We've just been walking around Epcot, then we're like, let's just go to the lounge, let's go to the DVC lounge. So it's like free food and drink, isn't it? Or like snacks and drinks. It's just nice to kind of like sit away from the crowds and just chill out and be in the middle of Epcot still. It's just incredible. And then
there's like iPads and
we always see about YouTube channel like on the iPad.
But it's just like lovely. You feel really relaxed there. Yeah. I mean, we've had like an hour there before, haven't we, where we just chilled out, got out of that little bit of the heat, got away from the crowds, and that's a really good perk for me. Yeah. I really like that.
And the Moonlight Magic events, which I'm guessing aren't happening at the moment, but I think it's like twice a year at each park, so each park has 2 a year. There's like an evening event where the park's just closed to everybody else and are open for DVC holders. You do have to apply and kind of like nab a place, but we did one at Blizzard Beach, didn't we, which was just so fun. It's like free Mickey bars, there's like discos, games. You can just type in Lagoon, not Blizzard Beach. You can just like, you've just got free reign of everything. There's characters to meet in like special outfits. It was just so nice, wasn't it? So we can't wait to do some of those at some of the other parks. Obviously you have to like, your trips have to time up with them because they're so few and far between, but we were quite lucky. And I think we'll definitely aim. I'd love to do Animal Kingdom one. Like
that's the dream, wouldn't it? Being there for Animal Kingdom.
And finally, I think is the kind of like dining plan thing. Again, it's not something that you can have at the moment, but a lot of people say to us, but we like traveling on the dining plan, and like you'd have to pay for your food, and actually we'd rather not have the dining plan. Yeah, we love it. I think on the dining plan we ate way too much. We were spending so much time getting to reservations and making sure that we were done with things to get there, whereas actually we have a lot more quick service that we just share between us. We'll just have like 3 or 4 table services throughout the whole trip and plan them on days that are rest days anyway, so that there's no rushing around. And for us it's just been like much better, and actually we didn't spend anywhere near as much money on food as we thought we would, did we?
It's because I spent my entire time in the Epcot lounge just getting free bags of Doritos.
And I didn't feel guilty like buying snacks and things. Like when we were at the Epcot festival, we just bought a gift card, didn't we, and topped it up with a certain amount of money. We're like, right, we're not going to spend any more than $100 while we're here on food, and just spent that each time, which definitely is like something that we'll do again. So yeah, it's for us, or for me anyway, I much prefer not having the dining plan. I mean, yes, you get to experience amazing things, and like when we go to California Grill and we have to pay for it, it'd be like, ugh. But it's just one of those things, isn't it? You just got to see it as a treat. So yeah, for me, it's definitely a better way of doing it, I think. And I think the girls have more freedom with what they eat and choices and things. So yeah, we've still done character meals, haven't we?
We have.
We've got the discount. You get 20% discount. So is it 20%? 10 to 20%.
If you can get the tables in Wonderland, which I don't know whether they're going to do anymore.
I don't think they'll continue that, so let's just not talk about it. So yeah, what have we learned? Do we regret it? No, we don't regret it. What have we learned? That I think we probably made one of the best decisions we've ever made, even though we haven't been able to use it as much this year. Do you not agree?
Totally agree.
Oh, I thought you were like, go.
Yeah, totally agree. If we can go once every 2 years, it's still worth it. I mean, I don't want to go once every 2 years. I want to go 3 times every year.
It's complicated, it's confusing at times, but there is people out there like us, like other people, YouTube and Instagram, that can help you if you've got any questions about anything. So yeah, just always give us a message on Instagram if you need any help with anything, which seems we talk about DVC a lot, don't we?
Unless it's about use years, so ask her, because I'm 2 years in and I still don't, it still confuses the hell out of me.
Cannot get his head around it. So yeah, it was definitely the right decision for us. It was a big decision, a massive decision, but definitely right for us, and I don't think we'll ever regret it. Not that I don't have regrets anyway. We'd never think, should we have done that?
Yeah, not at all.
But yeah, it's complicated. There's always ins and outs. There's lots of finances involved. There's lots of dates and windows involved, but it's worth it once you get your head around it. So yeah, I think that's been informative.
Do you think it's been informative? Let us know in the comments below.
So yeah, we're gonna go now because the battery's flashing at us. So make sure you stick around for, I say, lots of vlogs. If you've got any questions, there might even be a part 3 to this, who knows, just pop them below, and if we can't answer them, then we'll put them in a little bank and film part 3 at some point. But thank you so much for watching. I hope everyone's okay.
Remember to subscribe and like and comment and everything else in between.
Give us a thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video.
Something about a ding bell or something, isn't there?
Ding the bell.
Ding the bell, ding that bad boy, ding that bell. Get your bell dinged.
Ring my bell, ring my bell. Anyway.
Battery's definitely gonna go.
Thanks for watching.
Bye!